Peter Schiff was just handed a gold bar by CZ and couldn't even tell if it was real. The Bank of America is now telling clients to buy Bitcoin. And one quiet Cardano project has secretly signed a deal with Fireblocks, turning them into Chainlink 2.0. Stick around to find out this week's alpha. Another week, another absolute circus in crypto. No fluff, no intros. We're jumping straight into the madness this week, starting with the charts. So, a slightly red day today. Bitcoin is down 2.5%. Ethereum is down 3.6%. The rest are all down similar numbers. I also wanted to specifically show CNTs as well. It's been a particularly red day for CNTs. The least affected is something around the 7.6 mark. And then the rest are all in the high teens, low 20%, which is pretty crazy, down in the red, which we'll discuss the reason why I think that later. But first up, we'll talk about CZ versus Peter Schiff debate. It goes viral. The debate included an iconic moment where CZ handed Peter Schiff a gold bar, and he asked him if it was real, and Peter was unable to state if it was real or not, which Peter says himself is the reason why he actually likes tokenized gold. So you can verify it and you can split it and all that. So it's actually a good video to watch, a good debate, very fair, very respectful, and friendly as well. So ultimately, this debate was fun, meme and interest generating, and helped gain more attention to crypto. So that was great. But it also shows an ongoing culture war between the old school staunch TradFi crowd and crypto. Bank of America recommends 1 to 4% crypto portfolio allocation now. So the Bank of America has now joined the party, previously not commenting on crypto, now recommending 1 to 4% allocation. This is bullish. It adds more fuel to the sentiment of a sentiment shifting fire. We may not see any dramatic movement straight away. However, this will eventually lead to just an overall increase in sentiment and a market shift change. Fed 25 basis points rate cut. So initially it ignited a 94K BTC breakout. However, as you could see, that was very short-lived. It's the third consecutive quarter point cut, which was made on December the 10th. And it wiped out a lot of shorts. So awesome to see for the bulls. However, as I said, it was short-lived. It also shows that there is a shift towards the end of actual quantitative tightening. Obviously, they can say that they're going to do it, but actually putting that into action with cuts is where you can actually see the real action happening. So this is priming a liquidity boom, which is really cool for risk assets. And analysts are hoping to see a 100K BTC by the end of the year. Midnight has officially launched. The Night token is currently listed and trading on centralized exchanges like Bybit, KuCoin, OKX, Outbit, Gate, XT, MEXC, Kraken, and Binance Alpha. There have been some very mixed responses about the Night launch. The positive side is that it shows that a Cardano native token can be listed and have a $1 billion evaluation with a multi-hundred million dollar trading volume. So we can see that the trading volume today has been 283 million. So that's really cool. And these are the exchanges that Night is listed on. But a negative that has come from this is that it appears that a lot of liquidity has drained from other Cardano native tokens towards Night, and then that liquidity has been taken off exchanges and drained. So we can go back here and see all of this 24-hour liquidation of all these assets being drained. And then when we go back here and compare it to all these other assets, the non-Cardano tokens, the CNTs have taken a harder hit. And to me, I think that's what's happened. I think liquidity has gone from Cardano native tokens to Night, and then from Night out on the exchanges into people's hands. So disappointing to see. It also is a red day, so it is two compounding factors. But yeah, what do you guys think of it? How do you feel about it? Do you feel positive or negative? Do you think they went about it the right way? So next news, Iagon removes 90% of its LP from MintSwap and pops it into Wing Riders. So here's the statement from the Iagon team. I recommend you all read it yourselves. It's very thorough, very well written. But in summary, they state, even though the vote on MinSwap for liquidity providers to receive their own Night tokens won, they fundamentally disagree that it was up for discussion in the first place. So Iagon swapped to Wing Riders because after speaking with other DEXs, Wing Riders was willing and technically able to provide the Iagon team the control that they wanted. And that control is in the form of voting rights attached to their ADA, staking rewards that flow from their ADA, and to have a say in catalyst voting and governance that affects their ecosystem. So this is obviously disappointing that things happened the way that they did, but I believe the Iagon team made the best decision, and this will make people think about DEXs a little bit differently, and hopefully it'll make DEXs themselves think about their practice a little bit more. As mentioned in last week's video, I believe this error in judgment made by MinSwap may lead to other projects following similar action, leading to other DEXs having a larger slice of the DeFi pie. What are your thoughts? Do you think Iagon made the right decision? What would you have done if you were the Iagon team? So finally, to some good news. Iagon and Fireblocks have signed a deal. So Nav wrote a very long, well-written post, sort of going into detail about what went down. And he states the contract has been signed between Iagon and Fireblocks, kicking off the integration to deliver a full Cardano stack for their institutional clients. Fireblocks is building dedicated software development kits and tooling around Cardano and Cardano native tokens, including support for CNT transfers, balance and history queries. It will also include ADA staking governance, a unified SDK with a simple interface for customers and webhook capabilities so exchanges and institutions can properly monitor ADA and CNT activity. So this deal signed between Iagon and Fireblocks will provide core infrastructure that has been desperately needed for the Cardano network, providing access for the institutional side of this industry. Fireblocks is used by big names in the crypto space like Revolut, BNY, Melon, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance US, banks, fintechs, brokers, custodians, funds, and treasuries. So this is all incredible news. I genuinely believe Nav doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. He identified a problem, he went out, did something about it, and is now carrying the Cardano ecosystem on his back to greatness. And now finally, for the big alpha that was dropped in this week's AMA. So all that Fireblocks news is great. Awesome. But there's actually a little hidden nugget of news in there that made this deal all the sweeter for Iagon holders. Part of this deal is that Iagon will actually be providing the API for the whole new system. So what does this really mean? Imagine the Cardano system is an island, and not too far away is land with the institutional side of crypto industry that I mentioned before. And Fireblocks are there with roads waiting to be linked to Cardano Island. Well, Iagon and Fireblocks are now creating a bridge between that island and land, and Iagon will be there collecting a small fee anytime anyone crosses, effectively being the chain link of Cardano. This is massive news. I feel like it hasn't really caught on yet. The hype isn't there just yet, but this is massive news. It will provide another significant stream of revenue for Iagon stakers, and it was just so casually dropped in the AMA. This adds to the list of many revenue streams coming next year, and it genuinely blows my mind that no one's really talking about it. So that wraps up this week's video. What are your thoughts on all of the news this week? Don't be afraid to follow me on X and subscribe to me on YouTube just to keep up to date with all the news that I'm sharing. And if you have any feedback, questions, requests, please drop a comment. I'll see you guys next week and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks.